from the coast of South Carolina, and I'd like you to see what we see. This is traffic waiting to get into the port of Savannah. I'm going to flip the camera around. All right, so look in the distance beyond the captain there. There's one freighter, two behind him. There's three.
About it a little bit earlier. That's going to do it for us. Grab a cup of coffee with Rob Finnerty tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. He starts. New to the Street is next. Thanks for joining us, folks.
Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private blockchain companies, the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators, bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go. SOPA, or SocietyPass, has been growing by leaps and bounds lately, particularly in Southeast Asia, where it's headquartered. And with me is Dennis Nguyen, the CEO, to explain all these acquisitions you've been doing. I've been talking to some of your executives, and it's really super exciting. So I guess give me an overview of how you're growing, and then let's go into some of the particular companies you've bought recently.
Yeah, so SocietyPass is building the next generation digital ecosystem in Southeast Asia. And what does that really mean? What it really means is that we are basically acquiring different companies to form our ecosystem. And these different companies, of course, are in different verticals. Lifestyle, telecoms, digital advertising, travel, so on and so forth. We link them all together with the circulation of our loyalty points we call society points. And so that's what the next generation digital ecosystem is all about.
Yeah. So what do you look for when you're looking at one of these acquisitions?
We look for a number of things. Visionary entrepreneurs. They have to have, the founders of the companies have to be first rate in their particular field. We look for companies that are fast growing. They generally have 3-4 years of track record and growing at 50, 60, 70% a year. And then finally, of course, they have to be operating in the 5 markets that we operate in. Okay. Singapore, Vietnam, Indonesia, Philippines, and of course Thailand.
And Thailand, okay. And kind of explain some of these acquisitions and how they're enhancing SocietyPass.
So, since we started, we now have onboarded over 3.3 million registered users, as well as over 200,000 registered merchants. And of course, the onboarding has been very much through acquisitions. So, for example, Newsmax, our latest acquisition, it's one of the larger online travel agents. It's the Priceline.com of Southeast Asia. Brought in 1.2 million registered users onto the platform. And so, as we're trying to grow the ecosystem, and the KPIs are always 3 things: revenues, registered users, registered merchants. As we build out in the 6 verticals that we're in, we hopefully go from current 3.3 million to 10 million and 20 million and so on and so forth. As we do that, as the ecosystem gets bigger and bigger, then of course the loyalty points that are being circulated become more and more valuable.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole ecosystem that you're trying to build. I mean, I kind of think of you as like almost like an Amazon, although you do have e-commerce, right? But you're in food delivery and a lot of other things too. Almost like an Amazon of Southeast Asia. Would you say that's accurate?
I think that's, I mean, we would love to be someone to call us Amazon of Southeast Asia. That would be awesome. But, yes, we do. We do have a lifestyle vertical. It's called La Flare. Yeah. It operates in Vietnam. It's one of the larger lifestyle e-commerce platforms in Vietnam. We sell women's products, shoes, dresses, suits, ties, sunglasses, so on and so forth. So we do that. Also, we do have our food and beverage delivery. We have 3 companies operating in Vietnam and Philippines. We're building the Instacart and DoorDash of Southeast Asia. Yeah. So those are the things we're building. We're bringing them onto the ecosystem. With the users and the merchants, we circulate the society points, as I said, and that's how the value is created.
Congratulations, Dennis, on all your success. It's been fun to meet these companies, mostly on Zoom, but it's been great. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thousands of people use Phantom every day to access DeFi, NFT, Metaverse, and GameFi decentralized applications. On Phantom, you can trade, lend, and borrow in a fully decentralized way with instant speed and near zero fees. Whether you're an artist or a collector, there's a rich and accessible NFT ecosystem to explore. Join your friends in the Metaverse for exciting digital experiences or play revolutionary Web3 games. Join Phantom today.
I'm welcoming Sean Hanlon, the CEO and founder of two RIAs, Hanlon Investment Management and Vestbridge Advisors. And Sean, you've been in the financial services business since 1983, so you've seen a lot over that time. How did you maintain success over all of those decades?
Well, I think to be successful in the financial services business and wealth management, it really takes 5 important things. Number 1, you have to have a passion for helping people. Number 2, you better have a plan. Number 3, you better care about everything that you do. You also better have a high ethical standard, and then do the best you can one day at a time.
Yeah. What trends have you seen, I'm sure you've seen several, that have created changes to your business, maybe led to you operating differently?
Sure, yeah. So the industry has not changed at all, in that clients still expect good risk-adjusted net after-tax investment results. But it's also changed a tremendous amount in that clients are subjected to constantly seeing the value of their portfolios, all sorts of different investment products, the speed and the breadth of all the information. And so, you know, it's gotten a little bit more challenging, I think, for investors.
Now, I remember my dad looking at the paper, like where the stocks closed, you know, in the newspaper, which is crazy now to think about that.
Yeah.
How have those changes impacted investing?
Well, it's made it a little bit tougher, I think, for folks in that they are seeing the values of their portfolios, and they could freak out a little bit more.
A little more anxiety.
That's right, as compared to, you mentioned your dad.
Yeah.
Your dad checked the paper to look at stock values, and perhaps your dad was a retiree who got a check a month and had a wonderful retirement. Today's retirees have to be quasi-portfolio managers themselves, although they should get a good wealth manager, and experience potentially 20–30% ups and downs in their portfolio. In the old days, they didn't see that. They got a check a month and everything was good. So that's a little bit tough because part of the population can't handle that.
Yeah. And have those been good for investors? Because you think more information equals better, but maybe that is not the case necessarily.
Well, it's not the case in some instances, and in other instances it is. For example, it's always wise for everybody to have a good financial plan, and through technology we're able to update the plan in real time. So if the market's down, like it's been lately, 20%, we could show the client, hey, you know what, over the long haul, this may not really be that impactful. Or, for example, in real time, a client could say, hey, I'm interested in retiring a little bit early. We're interested in buying a boat, a vacation home. What does that mean to our financial plan? And in real time, because of technology, we can update it instantly and show them the results.
Now, Hanlon Investment Management was your original firm, but you've recently launched Vestbridge Advisors. So explain the difference and why did you launch that second entity?
Sure. Yeah, so Hanlon started as a direct-to-client wealth management firm. We were very successful, and other advisors started referring their clients to us for us to manage the client portfolio. The advisor would still retain the relationship, the financial planning, all the communication, but we did the actual money management. And so, so as to not confuse in the marketplace, have any confusion in the marketplace, we changed our business such that we developed another firm called Vestbridge Advisors so that we could go direct to clients and offer our wealth management services, and that's why we have the two business. One business services advisors that refer clients to us, and the other business, Vestbridge Advisors, goes direct to clients and provides wealth management. But both businesses use the same middle and back office services to open accounts, service accounts, trade accounts, etc.
Yeah, and we were chatting a little bit before. You were a graduate of Stevens in Hoboken, and you're on the board of trustees, right?
Yes.
So, and you also have the Hanlon Financial Systems Center there as well. That focuses on STEM studies, right, for the students there. I mean, explain that, and what's that connection for you?
Yeah, sure. So one of my passions is giving back, and so my wife Kathy and I are the benefactors to the Hanlon Financial Systems Center, which was founded in 2012. And its purpose is to provide facilities and an environment for teaching, for research, and for partnerships with the private sector. And our vision was that technology and financial services were going to become more and more together. And like we like to say, it's a shame we were so wrong. And also the center recently helped Stevens get the first ever award from the National Science Foundation in FinTech for an industry university research center cooperative.
Oh, interesting.
So it's very, very exciting.
Yeah. What, in your opinion, makes a good financial advisor?
Well, a good financial advisor should be able to help a client, number one, establish a good asset allocation and have a plan. Number two, help them in rebalancing their portfolio at the right times. Number three, be able to manage the costs and the taxes. Those are some of the things we can control. Costs meaning steer the client away from expensive products, make sure that they're prudently priced, and then taxes, making sure that the client gets to keep most of what they earn, if not all of what they earn, and also invest the assets in the right type of account, as well as good distribution strategies when you're taking money out of your retirement accounts, all that sort of stuff. And this has been proven time and time again, and a very large financial services firm commissioned a study, and that's exactly what they found was the value a wealth manager can deliver.
Interesting. Yeah, and some people are kind of freaking out about all these interest rate increases, but I'm like, we came from zero, so
that's right.
You know, that's one thing to keep in mind. But Sean, thank you so much for coming in. It's great to hear about you and your success.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thousands of people use Phantom every day to access DeFi, NFT, Metaverse, and GameFi decentralized applications. On Phantom, you can trade, lend, and borrow in a fully decentralized way with instant speed and near zero fees. Whether you're an artist or a collector, there's a rich and accessible NFT ecosystem to explore. Join your friends in the Metaverse for exciting digital experiences or play revolutionary Web3 games. Join Phantom today.
Mikra has a product called Self that works on the cellular level for energy and overall wellness. And with me is the CEO of Mikra, Faraz Jamal, to explain more about this product. And we were talking about brain fog, and we hear a lot about it now because of long COVID. But it's not just long COVID. I had brain fog long before COVID happened. But what are you finding with your product and brain fog?
Yeah, so long COVID actually really brought brain fog to the surface. But brain fog and chronic fatigue has been around for a very long time. And one of the major things that we created Self around was the actual ability to combat that. So we're actually one of the only supplements out there right now that are actually engaging in a clinical trial for chronic fatigue syndrome. And we're honestly seeing so many great results from our customers and everyone else trying to combat these things. And it's really interesting. Like the way that brain fog is diagnosed is very, very anecdotal, quite honestly. There isn't a really good set regimen of tools that doctors can use. But if you're essentially like waking up super tired from the night before, and you got your 8 hours of sleep, or even if you're mid-afternoon, you're like, I don't feel very good, I'm going to have to slam back a couple of cups of coffee or something like that. this is where Self actually really cuts through and where people see the most benefit from the product. And generally speaking, once you've hit that like 30-ish mark, you start to feel more and more tired over time. And that's what we're trying to solve.
Yeah. And let's remind everybody how it works.
Yeah.
So this is like a peanut butter, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so describe how we take it and then what it does to our body.
Yeah, peanut butter is actually a really good way of describing that. We call it a nutraceutical gel. And the sweet spot here is that we take bioactive compounds, so naturally occurring compounds that you could find in very low quantities in like broccoli and spinach and elsewhere within nature. And then we concentrate them. And then we essentially pair them with our technology, which is a direct-to-cellular technology. So that ensures that your cells actually absorb and utilize the compounds. And then furthermore, we make sure that the product isn't oxidized in any way, shape, or form. So it's not sitting in the lab or anything of the sort. We actually batch our products. So they're actually pretty small batches to ensure that they're potent, they're effective, and they're going to work.
Yeah, and in fact, your batches are small that you ran out and like there was demand and all of that, right?
Yeah, so it's been really humbling, to be honest, to see how many people continuously want to take Self, that are giving it to their families and everything of the sort. And I'm eternally grateful for all the demand, but we are scaling up quite quickly.
Now, why do you think the world needs Self?
I set out to design a product that would prevent people from having to essentially spend more time in the hospital. We're living much longer as a society. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, people aren't enjoying that like extended life. They're feeling fatigued. They're feeling like they're chronically inflamed. They can't go on their hikes or their morning walks and things like that. And you know what? Like they can't hang out with their grandchildren either. And it's disappointing to see. And the way that we engineered Self and the way that we're setting out with Mikra is essentially to prevent all of these chronic things from happening way before they actually start. And it's something that modern healthcare right now isn't super incentivized around. Like the majority of healthcare spending, like about 90% of it, has all to do with chronic conditions. Yeah. But we're always treating like the surface issues, never like decades in advance.
That's right, and prevention and kind of just the overall quality of life.
Exactly.
Sounds like what you're aiming for too.
Yeah,
people.
That's our goal.
And there's some celebrities and pro athletes that are using this. So
yeah.
Can you tell us who and what are they saying?
Yeah, so we've got Ashley Wagner and Edward Cullen-Jones, who are both Olympians, both in figure skating and swimming. And then we also have Jose Bautista, who's MLB superstar as well. And quite honestly, we're seeing such amazing success from even like top tier athletes like that. The ability to bounce back after a really strong workout session or get a deeper, more restorative sleep. These are all really cool things. And then I got some feedback from a journalist the other day where I guess they had set out and they weren't quite sure if it was actually going to work or not. And the feedback that we got was that it was annoyingly how effective it was. So it was great feedback to have, but it also speaks to like the skepticism around supplements and things like that. So I'm really.
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right, because people are like, oh, come on. Like, and plus we've heard a lot of these claims in the past, and you're like, didn't really work. So
exactly.
You know, and we know that people want to sell those things, so there's always that question.
Yeah, and that's primarily the core of who we are. Like, what we want to do is we want to throw Self through the gamut of clinical trials. We want to really be able to prove them out, and we're going to set out to do that, and we're seeing such amazing success, and we already have a clinical trial pipeline in the works, and yeah, we're very excited for the future.
So I was going to ask about that. What's the future? So you've got a clinical trial. What are you studying in the trial? And then just about expansion, where do you go?
So chronic fatigue syndrome is our major focus right now. And then we're looking at other clinical indications like anxiety, as well as a couple of sleep studies. So we're really excited about those. And then in parallel, we actually have a new product coming out soon, just targeting cellular athletic therapeutics. So we're really excited about being able to enhance somebody's quality of workout and then also diminish the amount of time it takes for them to recover from it. Yeah, so if you've ever like gone for like a 5K or like a really, really strenuous, any sort of exercise in the morning, and then you get to work and you're like, I feel a little bit tired and like my mind's not quite there, this new product's going to solve that issue.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I know a ton of people that would be interested in that, actually. We'll talk later. Thank you so much for coming back in and giving us an update.
No, I really appreciate it, Jane. Thank you.
Out of control inflation, escalating government debt, gas and energy bills burning through your savings, and a spiraling war in Europe. The world feels like a very uncertain place right now, and it's harder and harder to take control of your money and safeguard your savings. I mean, why would anyone want to keep their money in a bank that's only going to lend it out for its own profit? Putting your savings at risk, and for what? A pittance in interest? Well, let me tell you about Glint and how they can help you to save in real gold you can spend like dollars. Now, first off, Glint's not a bank or crypto or some new type of credit card. What Glint provides is the ability and freedom to buy, save, and spend real allocated gold that's secured in Brink's vaults and insured by Lloyd's of London. Glint's Smart app and MasterCard is leading the payments revolution, putting you in control of your money by making real gold, trusted for thousands of years, into an instant, secure digital currency for the modern world. Best of all, your gold is always your gold. It's no one else's liability. It's secure and allocated to you. It never goes away, even in a crash. To learn more, go to glintpay.com or download Glint from your favorite app store. It's time to take control of your money and protect it with the time-tested security of gold and the modern digital convenience of Glint. Gold is security. Glint, it's key.
Zerify, formerly Strikeforce Technologies, is focusing on secure video conferencing. And with me is the CEO, Mark Kay, and also George Waller, the Executive Vice President. Great to have you back here at the NASDAQ. And you recently rebranded, so let's start with that. You, of course, we talked several times and you were Strikeforce, now you're Zerify. So what was the strategy behind the name change?
Yeah, and we had tons of questions about that, and it wasn't just it was really a specific thing we did over 6 months ago. We decided we need a new name, we need to change ourselves because we're doing everything around the video conferencing. It was a brand new product, it just went live this year, beginning of the year, and we're refocusing all of our products around the video conferencing. And it's not just a simple video conference product, it actually does a lot more and authenticates every single person ever getting onto it, which is the only product out there that does it that way. So we feel it's the best and biggest, and now it runs beautifully, by the way, if anybody ever wants to buy it, but it's the best product out there. And it's securing. It does 3 products in one. So all the other products like Zoom and WebEx and Teams, they use one product. It's just looking at you and seeing you while you're in your conference. We have an authentication piece running with it. We have another piece running with it that secures your camera, your video, your audio, all of that at the same time. So it's a very unique deal, and the whole company is based on that. And now that's why we decided to change the name. And we worked with a company called Dark Roast Media that actually worked with us for 6 months. They gave us over 1,600 names,
oh my goodness,
of which we went through a long, long process getting through that. And then we decided Zerify makes sense, you know, verify with Zerify and many other themes you can say with it, and it was just one syllable. So getting that out there is very difficult. It's taken us 6, 7 months, and we're still doing it, but it's almost all there.
Yeah, okay. And George, tell me about the Zero Trust platform. Is that this new secure video conferencing platform?
Well, Zero Trust is a framework, and it's put out by NIST, which is the National Institute of Standards and Technology. And they're basically they're the gurus for the government, federal, and all highly regulated industries. So Zero Trust is a concept that's based on one simple thing: never trust, always verify. Never trust, always verify.
Ronald Reagan, or did he say
I think
something like that,
George
right?
Waller.
So what we did was we took that concept of zero trust and we built it into, as Mark said, our video conferencing platform and solutions. So we now have 3 solutions. We have our Zerify Meet, which is based on zero trust video conferencing, where we authenticate every user every time prior to coming into a conference. Okay. We have our Zerify Defender, which basically locks down the desktop, meaning the camera, the microphone, the speakers, the keyboard, the clipboard, all the aspects that a hacker with malware could steal to steal your video conferencing. And then we have our Zerify API, which enables you to embed secure video conferencing into an existing app like a CRM or an ERP or a legacy application. So the last thing I'll say about it is that Zerify is the only cybersecurity company that is specializing in zero trust secure video conferencing.
Okay, interesting. And Mark, can you share an update on PushForce?
Sure. Well, obviously we're picking on PushForce because we got a lot of questions, a lot of emails, but PushForce is a client that we brought on. We signed the contract with them about almost a year ago, and they are a major retail company that sells to the marketplace, and they have a lot of clients, and they have a couple major clients. So they're not quite ready yet to go live, but this is the first client we've ever brought on to use our API, our Zerify API, which does the video conferencing, but it does it at their leisure. You know, they decide where in the program that they're going to do it, and then they do it right there and then. They don't have to get us involved, and it's a great video conference at that time. And we see many uses for that going forward, and we're trying to figure out other companies to work with to get that done too. They're just running very late because they're having a hard time in this pandemic period to hire the right people. And it's very difficult, but they're talking to us every week. They're very close to getting it ready. They expect to have the first couple clients out in the next couple of weeks and then move on to the large clients. So we still feel this is a major client for us using our API.
Yeah. And George, I mean, I understand you have a lot of customers signing up for pilots. So can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So as Mark said, we rebranded like 6 months ago. And when we rebranded, we hired a new PR firm, Bospar, to start our outreach. We hired Dark Roast to do the rebranding and also build us a new website, which is just about done. They've been bringing it in every week, a little bit, some more of the pages, and we're just about finished. And then we hired Option, which is one of the country's leading digital marketing firms. So we had to wait till the website was done so we could get all of this marketing built around it, right? Now the website's just about done. We started phase 1 of 3 phases, and already in just phase 1, which was basic marketing, we are now receiving trial requests each and every day, multiple trial requests. And we hired, as Mark said in one of his last interviews, we hired a bunch of salespeople that are now working with those trial people to get them on the system, to get them what we call onboarded, train them how to use the system. And we encourage everyone to try our system because we give a 30-day free trial. Just use it 30 days, no commitment. Even when you sign on with us, there's no commitment. You just use it on a monthly basis. And we're hearing the same exact thing from every one of the people that we're trialing. They all said we were looking for a secure video conferencing system, and we know that our existing system is vulnerable, and we're concerned about compliance. So that's one of the leading drivers of why people are using our system, to be compliant and secure.
Okay. So Mark, at Forrester Group named Zerify Meet as one of the top 25 communication platforms. So congratulations. And what do you think was behind that decision?
Well, first of all, that was a major surprise to us. I mean, we didn't even know that was happening. We are not a client of Forrester, let me be clear. We weren't, and we're not going to be, but they still list us as one of the top 25. We're the only cybersecurity company in the 25, and we're the only ones that do video conferencing in the 25. So we know we've got the most secure video conferencing product out there. It truly authenticates every individual every time, and it definitely is by far the best that is secure. We're not recommending it for everybody, even though we are, but they don't have to buy it. And it's the same price as all the others, and actually lower than the others as well. But it's a great tool. It works very well, and it definitely keeps you very secure. Minimally, you're secured with an OTP, one-time password, automatically. And all you have to do is hit join now in order to get onto the conference. So it's very easy to use.
So easy to use and secure.
And it's very secure.
Exactly.
So, which is great. So,
we do.
Thank you, Mark and George.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Out of control inflation, escalating government debt, gas and energy bills burning through your savings, and a spiraling war in Europe. The world feels like a very uncertain place right now, and it's harder and harder to take control of your money and safeguard your savings. I mean, why would anyone want to keep their money in a bank that's only going to lend it out for its own profit? Putting your savings at risk, and for what? A pittance in interest? Well, let me tell you about Glint and how they can help you to save in real gold you can spend like dollars. Now, first off, Glint's not a bank or crypto or some new type of credit card. What Glint provides is the ability and freedom to buy, save, and spend real allocated gold that's secured in Brink's vaults and insured by Lloyd's of London. Glint's Smart app and MasterCard is leading the payments revolution, putting you in control of your money by making real gold, trusted for thousands of years, into an instant, secure digital currency for the modern world. Best of all, your gold is always your gold. It's no one else's liability. It's secure and allocated to you. It never goes away, even in a crash. To learn more, go to glintpay.com or download Glint from your favorite app store. It's time to take control of your money and protect it with the time-tested security of gold and the modern digital convenience of Glint. Gold is security. Glint, it's key.
Welcome to New to the Streets Unstoppable Show. My name is Rhonda Swan, and today my guests are Dave Wilkes from BFX Standard, the CEO of BFX Standard, and Courtney Logan, the COO of BFX Standard. They are a company that brings things blockchain and Forex to your doorstep for easy consumption. Hi guys, how are you doing? Tell me a little bit about BFX. What are you doing?
Good, thank you. Well, as you said, BFX Standard is a platform that brings blockchain, cryptocurrency, and Forex to everyone's doorstep by way of training, education. We also have a license to allow some of our other customers to trade their cryptocurrency. So we ultimately are trying to help with financial literacy.
I love it. So what is the clientele that you're really working with? Because I know you do something very unique that the world deserves to hear about.
Well, you know, our customer is any person really looking for an opportunity to enhance their lives through the financial market. This is the person that's on a fixed income. It's the college student that's looking to supplement their income. Or, you know, we get a lot of customers who are looking to switch jobs and they're looking for a different opportunity. And the financial markets is an opportunity for them to do that.
I love that. And I know that you have a very special business model, right? Most would think that investing would cost a lot to learn this type of education. What are you doing differently that others are not?
Well, you want to grab that one?
Yeah, sure. So what we're doing is we're actually offering high value, high quality education at an affordable price. And our company right now is literally offering this education at $60 a month. So it's $150 to start, $60 a month. And when we think about the level of education that we offer and you look out into the market, typically it's $5,000 for this type of education, $20,000 for this education. But the reason I wanted to partner with the company is because they really had a mission and vision to help people across the world, and that's the impact and legacy that we want to leave, and we also want to make sure everybody can have access to it.
Wow, that's really amazing. So Dave, what was your motivation behind starting the company? Like, where does it really come from?
Thanks for that question.
Yeah.
Coming from a small town, Avondale, Louisiana, you look around and you realize that for me, I was blessed to be able to play basketball. Basketball was my opportunity out. And I don't mean out from like I'm leaving my people, but you know, for a better life.
Yeah.
However, I always look back a little bit of survivor's remorse and go, what if I didn't have that opportunity to play basketball? What about my friends that I went to high school with that didn't have that opportunity? And so looking at something that would give them that opportunity, but not just them, anyone who was willing to roll up their sleeves and try. So it's almost like putting myself in a time capsule and going back and saying, what would be an opportunity that anyone could step into for a small entry fee, just wanting to roll up their sleeves and do better for themselves and have some financial literacy. And if it's not just totally as far as a full-time job, a part-time job, but that was the platform is all about, and it's a lesson of love for me and the whole team.
It's so inspiring. Just think about the youth that you can help, right? So what's next for BFX? Where are you guys going next?
So we're open for business, you know, and we're looking for people who again, who's looking for that opportunity. And we're looking, you know, at our product offering, and of course right now we're offering the Forex and the crypto. But in the future, you know, we're looking at potential youth programs, and we're looking for partners. We're looking for people who want to partner with us with our mission, our vision, in order to help the world learn how to trade the markets and enhance their lives.
I love it. And where can people really find you?
Well, our website is bfxstandard.com. That's where you can find us at. You can find us at BFX Standard on all the social media platforms that's out there.
Amazing, guys. I'm so excited. Thank you for all of your work and the impact you're leaving on the world.
No, thank you, truly.
It's a true blessing to have you here.
Thank you.
Coastal Capital focuses on equipment-based lending, lines of credit, and working capital. I founded my company based on the belief of partnerships. If we didn't have partnerships and trust and relationships, nothing would move forward. We really like to get to know the core of the client. We want to know who we're working with. We believe in a story, and that's why we call ourselves a story time lender. Coastal Capital is financing you can trust.
Do you need deeper sleep, more energy, better focus? Well, HAPB says they have a possible solution for that. And with me is the CEO, Jonas Stern, to talk about HAPB. And I know I've seen you here before. I've used the device before and actually did feel more productive. I mean, we talked about that. And you just launched a 2.0 new app.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. It took us about 6 months listening to customer feedback. And we really wanted to make the user experience much more intuitive. So when you open it up right now and you use your HAPB device, you're going to find a user experience that kind of feels a lot more like Spotify and Apple Music, where you can just choose the blend or the routine that you want. It remembers what you're using it for. So if you're using it for deeper sleep or focus or relaxation, all of those options are in there.
Yeah. So and I remember you were adding kind of some new things as well. Did you add anything new? Do you plan to?
One of the biggest things that we added is this notion of routines.
Okay.
If you'll recall, what we used to have is these notion of blends. So you could play your morning cup of coffee, or in the evening you could play a relaxation signal, or you could play a melatonin signal for deep sleep. What we found is people like to use the product over a longer period of time, and they didn't want to kind of start and stop. They wanted to kind of, like, if you will, create a playlist. So I want to have an evening bedtime playlist, which starts with relaxation, then starts to get me drowsy, and then finishes off with like 5 or 6 hours of deep sleep. Oh. That's called a routine, and that's part of what we've built into the new app.
Okay. And then you also have launched the Smart Sleep Bed? Right? Explain that. How does that work?
Well, this is a wonderful device.
Okay, we'll talk about that in just a second.
Yeah, it's a neck band that you can wear all day. I think it's safe to say this is not optimal for sleep. Oh. Historically, what we've been telling people to do, and that's the way I use it, is I put this device, or I would put this device underneath my pillow, set it to deep sleep, and I would sleep 7 hours, whereas before I would sleep 3 or 4. What we now have developed, and we're launching it tonight, is called the Smart Sleep Pad. It looks and feels a lot like a heating pad. It's about 12 inches by 18 inches. Okay. It's made out of foam. You put it underneath your pillow, and basically you set it and forget it. You'll have the best sleep you've ever had in your life.
Interesting. And so you're launching that. Explain how this works, how both the neck device and the sleep pad work. What's the science behind it?
Basically, everything that you put in your body is a stimulant. So think of caffeine or melatonin or a sleeping pill. They all operate ostensibly the same way. You have molecules that you ingest, and they find bioreceptors in your body. And when those two things meet, you get drowsy, or you get alert, or you get focused. That's the way this thing works. What we discovered is those molecules actually communicate with the bioreceptors in your body by sending a little signal, a magnetic wave. We figured out, and what HAPB does is we record those signals, caffeine, melatonin, CBD, and we play them back so that your body can hear them. So what's built into this and what's built into the sleep pad is the ability to play, if you will, a digital sleeping pill or a digital cup of coffee. No side effects, no lingering effects. And that's really what HAPB is.
Interesting. And you were telling me that it's a subscription-based business model, kind of like Peloton.
Exactly.
And that you're finding there's a lot of stickiness, like people are subscribing and staying with it.
Well, I think that for us is probably the most fulfilling part of what we've learned, is that people who subscribe find this incredibly engaging. The data that I can share, and we've shared it publicly, is 70% of people who subscribe 8 months later are still part of the paid program. It's because not only is this a better alternative, it's also a more cost-effective alternative to buying stimulants.
Yeah, well, and it's, you know, you're right, no stimulants, you don't have to worry about kind of the side effects of that as well.
No side effects and no lingering effects. Look, if I take a cup of coffee at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm buzzed and my sleep is interrupted.
Right.
If I take sleep medication for sleeping, I'm probably going to wake up feeling pretty groggy. Not with HAPB.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I've got that with Red Bull before, so that's a bad idea. Anytime afternoon. Thank you so much, Jonah, for coming back and giving us the update, and best of luck with the new sleep pad.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Coastal Capital focuses on equipment-based lending, lines of credit, and working capital. I founded my company based on the belief of partnerships. If we didn't have partnerships and trust and relationships, nothing would move forward. We really like to get to know the core of the client. We want to know who we're working with. We believe in a story, and that's why we call ourselves a story time lender. Coastal Capital is financing you can trust.
Secure is a messaging service, email as well, that lets you communicate with people in a secure way. And with me is the CEO, Alon Giahi, to tell us about a new launch, a secure messenger that you've just launched for enterprise. So explain to me what that is.
Well, we've had Secure Messenger for consumers and businesses now. With enterprise, and we launched actually not too long ago Secure Chat by Invite to 61 countries, which means you can text someone in 61 different countries, so, you know, from Europe, India, Asia, Latin America, and then invite them to chat with you. And this is typically used a lot with businesses where you may have a lawyer, an investment banker, a doctor, or a government agent trying to reach someone and have a chat without having to use the free big tech tools that are out there that are compromised, as we know. So now what we did is, at the request of some investment bankers, we decided to create an archiving solution. So this new feature takes our product to the next level of enterprise. And also, just to comply with FINRA and other regulation, if you're an investment bank and you want to have your investment bankers and traders use Secure Messenger, because we have the self-destruct timer, that doesn't comply because they need to archive those conversations for 7 to 10 years. And I don't know if you've read lately, US banks are being fined $1 billion because their employees are using WhatsApp and things like that. It's all over the press, right? I think we may have discussed it before. So the alternative is to have these big terminals from these big brands that we're not going to mention here, that cost $25,000, $30,000 a year, that come with a messenger, but they really just use the messenger. So now for $7 a month, you can have an enterprise grade, highly private and secure messenger application the bank or whoever the organization can store everything for compliance purpose for an infinite amount of years, really. And then the client and the employee can have the self-destruct feature advantage so that nothing resides on their phone or device.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I saw as part of the press release you had secure archives, so I guess that is particularly good for banks who need some of this communication.
We have our own investment bank that has decided to hopefully uplist us to NASDAQ. So they actually said they would use it. You know, they need something like that. Mm-hmm. So this is officially being launched next month in October. And it's not just for financial institutions. I mean, anybody that needs archiving for, and government employees, you got Defense Department overseas in the US. So it's a pretty cool feature. And for $7 a month, it's just unbeatable with all the privacy feature that Secure Messenger comes with.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. Great for the update, Alon. And I look forward to seeing you in person here in New York in October.
Me too. Thank you so much. Thanks, Jane.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Welcome to New to the Streets Unstoppable Show. And we've got with us today Carrie Marie, a global advisor, investor, and founder of Decision Velocity Global and the 1% Movement. Of course, with me, Rhonda Swan, co-hosted the show. Welcome, Carrie Marie. Great to have you here. And just tell us what drives cultural change and global, the globe that we're seeing. We're facing economic issues, social, environmental issues.
Yeah, I believe that we are at a point in life where there is a need for a new approach to how leaders are making decisions at the table. And if we keep making decisions the same way, we're going to keep seeing the economic, the social, the environmental space across the landscape going the way it is right now, right? And so if we are to change that, we have to narrow the gap from problem to solution. And I believe it starts at the decision table.
So how do you change the decision-making process at the table? Like, what does this actually mean? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think
questions you're asking.
Great question, because I think one of the things that has to change is the conversation. Who's having this conversation at the table? Who are we inviting to the table? And I think the other thing is we have to learn how to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, to be able to have conversations that maybe in the past have been things we have held back on, things that maybe we don't want to be bringing to the table because of where society is and what happens when you bring conversations like that to the table, and a willingness to go, even if we disagree with most things said at the table, what if we just agreed with one thing and we're able to shift that dial forward?
And who are you having these conversations with?
The greatest ones are those that are just willing to be open, to be curious, to see if they can change what they're doing, simple in their hand right now. So that could be innovators who are innovating new solutions at the table. It can be CEOs who are, running organizations, because here's the thing. Every decision you make has an impact. What if you were having an impact that was adding value to the human race going forward?
Okay, so let's talk about that. When you say every decision has an impact, just make sure it adds value, not subtracts. So how do we do that when how do we change culture and making this a bigger priority?
Yeah. So it sounds so grand, doesn't it? And it's almost, you know, if you look at the problems across the globe right now, it could be very easy to go, it's so complex, there's just no way culture can change. And if that's the case, I think that's a very sad story, because that doesn't bring much hope for the generations to come. So my thinking is, if everyone just chose to do their 1%, then if you were doing your 1%, you were doing your 1%, I was doing mine, others in the room are willing to do their 1%, we could actually shift culture. And if everyone was making decisions while they're doing that 1% that actually were adding value to the human race, I could see changes happening.
And you obviously have hope, or you wouldn't even be bothered doing this. So how do you, I mean, we seem like such a divided world really right now. I mean, how do you continue to have hope and make change with that?
Look, so one of the things that I'm working on at the moment is the 1% movement, and I really believe that this can bring hope to the global space right now. And again, it's my big goal on that is, what if we could get 1 billion names on a wall of humanity and everyone was choosing to do their 1%? If we did that by 2052, it's predicted that it would be almost 10% of the population. If that was the case, would 10% of the population actually be working towards something that is going to change the world? I think so. So to me, that brings hope. And I want to know there's hope because I've got children. I've actually got grandbabies as well. And so I want to leave behind something that they can springboard forward on and know that I'm narrowing that gap from problem to solution.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for what you're doing, Carrie Marie. Thank you. Thank you, Rhonda, as well.
Thank you.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download Secure. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Welcome, everyone, to your Secure Privacy and Security segment. I'm Anna Berry, along with the CEO of Secure Private Data, Hélène Guillay. Welcome, Hélène.
Thanks, Anna. Happy to be here. Hi, everyone.
So we're going to talk for our weekly hack about this recent article. There's many articles about this, but specifically this one where dozens of lawsuits by parents, they're blaming Meta, formerly known as Facebook, and TikTok for hooking kids into this social media craze. I'm a parent. I'm terrified about it. My daughter's not yet on social media. She's too young, but she's wanting to get on it, and I'm trying to stall that as much as possible. So let's talk a little bit about Secure and the products that you have and how you guys can provide an alternative solution.
Sure. So I think obviously this phenomena has been happening for, I guess, close to a decade now. And now the pendulum has reached too far, I guess, to the left or to the right, whichever way you look. The problem is that, as you can see, older youth and adults are hooked on that social media. This has created a lot of social issue, mental health issue, because you're constantly competing with everybody else in the world that, you know, portrays themselves as, you know, fantastic, great, having great life, being beautiful, having everything, all of that. And, you know, from filters that you can put all the way to, you know, montage in images. I mean, it's not a real world. In fact, the meta world is not a real world either. It's a fantasy world. And this has created a lot of depression and issues with teen, you know. So your daughter, for example, once she will get on social media, she will have no choice but to go on one of these 2, 3, 4, 5 platforms. I like your question because I think last week we discussed about how Secure Messenger can eliminate bullying, because that's a huge part of the social media phenomena. There's a lot of in fact, I think that's what they're doing in the lawsuit as well, because you're being bombarded by things, and not only you're hooked, but you also are being bombarded by bullying type of messages, images, etc. So what we do at Messenger is different. Secure Messenger, first of all, is a paid service. So already I would imagine maybe the parents would pay for it. The big thing is that because you don't have to disclose your phone number and you register with a username and a password, nobody can just scan phone number and bombard you with items. So you have full anonymity as a teen or as a kid if you're using that. And then you can create your own groups, because in one of these articles, they do discuss how they're being bombarded and invaded by other people, messaging you and whatnot. So you create your own group, you decide who joins you. The concept is simple. You have a secure number, which is a 6-digit number. Even if somebody knows your secure number, and let's say they have secure, you still need to accept them when they request it. You can block them out. But we can certainly protect the content that they're getting, the unwanted bullying and whatnot, with Secure Messenger, which is only like $5 a month, I think. So it's a good alternative.
It is. Explain how easy it is to sign up, and those all upfront fees. So no hidden fees in there as well.
No, so you go to secure.com, sekur.com on your mobile or desktop. You have to first buy an account, and then you can download Secure Messenger on iOS or Android, or use our website, which is a mobile site as well, if you don't want to download an application. I think most teens just want to download an app. So you set up your username, password, and then you can add people who have secure. Obviously, you can create a group. Now, what's interesting is that if other people don't have secure, which is an amazing tool, you can text or email someone to chat with you. So in the case of texting, we have 61 countries where people can just text someone in 61 different countries to click on a link and chat with them privately on secure, even if the recipient doesn't have secure. So you have like 3 types of contacts. You got the contacts in your secure network. That's easy. It's like a closed system. Then you have the contacts on your phone book, your phone contact. So if you say, hey, I want to chat with Anna, and you're not in the secure thing with me because you don't, but you are on my regular phone contact, I can basically, it'll upload and then text you or email you if you decide to email. And then if you want to chat with someone who's not even in your phone book, you can also do so by manually entering it. It's super private, it's secure, it's hosted only in Switzerland. We don't do any data mining whatsoever. And we have our own infrastructure in Switzerland. And the only fee you pay is $50 a year or $5 a month per person. You can buy as many licenses as you want when you're on the website. And I like to offer a promo code, if I may, to help out some families who may want to have a discount. Put SECURE15, SEKUR15, and you'll get 15% off for a whole year. It's an amazing way to keep a private group for your teen, your children, without having all the bombardment from the outside and having really full privacy.
That's a wonderful solution for this big problem that so many parents are facing. So this is a great segment this week. I'm sure in the next few weeks, we'll be talking about how it can be a win-win for the parents, as well as we have the midterm elections coming up here in the United States. And a lot of opinions that we want to be able to share out there freely without someone else poking their head and their nose into our conversation. So we can follow up with that in our next few segments.
Definitely, we will do that in the next few weeks. Thanks, Anna.
All right. Thank you for joining us, Elaine.
Thanks, everyone, for watching us.
Closed captioning brought to you by MagnaLife Leg and Back Pain Relief for pain-related symptoms of sciatica.
Tired of sciatic nerve pain radiating down your leg and lower back? Get relief, finally, with MagnaLife Leg and Back Pain Relief Cream. And get living.
Available at your local retailer.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to announce the original My Slippers are back